Do I stay or do I go? And this is a question that no one out loud even wants to talk about, but a question that many, many people live. And perhaps you're sleeping in separate bedrooms. You don't watch TV in the same lounges. You perhaps don't even have meals together. You may not be actually doing too much together. Or you may be doing things together, but you're not connected emotionally, physically. It's like you're more like flatmates. You're two people living in a house, or you might do raising the children really well, but as far as your intimate relationship and you as a couple, that disappeared quite a few years ago. This is so common, and I think I'm seeing it more and more with the cost of living, because people are just sort of putting up with that disconnect, and inside they're in a whole world of pain. And it isn't just one person, it's often both parties. What's happening though is the silence. It's getting heavy. The resentment can be building, and this just creates a lot of pain and a lot of heartache. Now go back to when, particularly if you said I do and you're married, go back to when you first got married and there was energy and there was vitality and there was life, and have a look at where you are now. What has changed? For a lot of people, it's bringing children into the equation, because that really can rock a foundation of a relationship. Just stresses, mortgage stress, the cost of living, career, if you've got your own business. So it just puts enormous amount of strain on relationships. And what begins to happen is that you stop spending time together. You stop spending that quality time together. You may not do those activities that you used to do. A relationship, a marriage does not fall apart overnight. It's like a slow breakdown. I was trying to think of some magical way of putting it. There isn't a magical way of putting it. It's just very, very slowly. What then happens is there's a bit of avoidance. One of you or both of you might work long hours. One of you might go to bed early or get up early. I'm not saying that's the case, but often there is a real avoidance and a busyness to not spend that quality time together, to really unpack where you're at. And so it just gets put away inside of you and it doesn't get shared. And then you get caught up in your head and the overthinking and the monkey mind. It's a world of pain. So what do you do if you're in this place? If in your head you're trying to work out, do I stay or do I go? Well, the first thing is to get really, really honest with where you're at, and recognize what were the steps that got you to this point where you have drifted apart, where you have stopped sharing your inner world. Because one of the most important steps is to start actually beginning to share your inner world with your partner. Would have been lots of little things, and perhaps you didn't feel heard or listened to or validated, and so you thought you're just talking to empty space, so I just won't bring it up anymore. So instead you might talk to your girlfriends, or you might talk to a mate, or you might talk to nobody, and it just wallows inside your body. Whether you're staying or going isn't the issue at this stage. It's parking that for now, because you're not going today, and it's just bringing it back to the relationship you firstly have with yourself. Where did you lose you? Where did you lose that sense of identity and self, and what made you tick and what made you happy and what gave you joy? When and how did you lose that? Because you can get so caught up in, you think you'll be happy, perhaps if you go. It's not always the case, and you've got to sort of pull it in and really start bringing in some awareness and some self-compassion for yourself first, and slow it down. Come back into the actual present moment. And to start, a really great place to start is your own self-care. Instead of trying to work out whether you stay or go, when did you last go to the gym? When did you last journal, meditate? When did you last be in nature? When did you last be with yourself? Because to work out whether you're staying or going, you've got to get to a place inside you where it's coming from empowerment, where it's coming from strength, where it's coming from a really good place inside you, and a knowing that if you do decide whether you are leaving, that you can look your partner in the eye and you know with your hand on your heart that you have done all that you can do, and that for you it is finished. But you can't get to that place unless you begin with yourself first. So whether you stay or go, bringing it back to yourself and start looking at the relationship you have with yourself. Is your partner triggering some old childhood wounds? Have you got a mother wound? Have you got a father wound? Have you got some old trauma in your body that you have not healed, you have not moved? Your partner's activating that in you, and you got the flight, and I'm out of here. There's so many different parts to this, because I can tell you, yes, you may go. You're still going to have to heal this relationship. And if you don't get down deep into the roots of what was really going on, you are then going to attract somebody else quite similar, very subconsciously, into a new relationship, and you'll be back in the same place 3 years, 5 years, whoever knows how much time, because you haven't actually healed the wound. So whether you stay or go is irrelevant at this stage. Start really focusing in on you and your own self-awareness and your self-care and your own mindfulness. From there, with some courage and some inner empowerment, you could start having some conversations with your partner. And it's not about projecting or telling your partner how bad they are. It's I statements and where you're at. Because are you a people pleaser? Are you someone who doesn't like confrontation? Are you someone who just keeps it all inside? That could be a big reason why you are in this predicament. Do I stay or do I go? Because you haven't shared. Your partner may not even know where you're at. Or you may share and your partner gets really angry, so it's not safe for you to share. So you do keep it inside. There's many different moving parts. So this is why it's bringing it back to yourself first and your own awareness and where you are. Get a rich, strong, loving relationship with yourself first. Loving yourself, liking yourself. If you can't go to loving, start there. Really increase your self-worth and know that you are worthy of a loving, healthy relationship. And in time, if you can be that person in this relationship and your partner can't meet you in that, then it is time to part ways. But you will come from a very sovereign place in you. Yes, it will be painful. Yes, it'll be scary. It'll bring up a lot of heartache and grief. But when it's coming from a very sovereign place in you, because you will no longer reject yourself, you will no longer put yourself second. You know you are worthy of a healthy, happy relationship. And it isn't your job to save your partner, heal your partner, rescue your partner, be your mentor to your partner, whatever is going on in the dynamics of your relationship. So, do I stay or go? You do not need to work that out, because if you do your inner work and come from a place of awareness and then an acceptance, that acceptance is you have really strong boundaries around your yeses and nos, and you trust yourself and you can surrender into what is. And you may have reached a point where you have outgrown the relationship you are in. But you're only going to know that if you bring in your own awareness and to stop getting in that trance of unworthiness and stop, do I stay or go? Let go of that. It isn't healthy. You will know, but it begins with you. And so bringing it back and really connecting in with your own inner power source. And with your own inner power source comes passion and purpose. And they're beautiful ingredients for you to, in time, you will know whether you're staying or going. So I love you and leave you. See you next time.